Oh man, I just barely missed getting this out for the American Thanksgiving holiday. Oh, it was so great cramming my face full of all sorts of great food. Such a satisfying time of the year. But it's a time to also remember what to be thankful for, and while I just barely missed it, it's always a good idea to be thankful for something. Short and to the point, it's a list of the 10 things I'm thankful for in video games. The only things I won't put on here are the basic stuff, like having amazing gameplay, excellent controls, wonderful soundtracks, and fantastic presentation. Alright, let's start it off! I'd have to check my sources, but I believe that Sony's PlayStation 2 was the first to have backwards compatibility, the ability to play your old games on your new system. For those who don't understand why people like myself like it, take a look at this! This is a mess! My outlets are flooding and there's not enough AV cable slots! So if I've got a system that can play my older games without having to unhook and hook up a bunch of different cables again and again, then I'm all for it! Hook up the PS1, PS2, and GameCube. Why would I do that when the Wii plays my GameCube games and the PS3 I have is 3 systems in one? This saves a lot of time and headaches, especially when I need to record gameplay footage from the older systems. The Wii U won't play GameCube games. Well, I guess I'll either have to keep the Wii plugged in, or unplug the Wii and hook up the lunchbox again. So you beat the game and you're looking for something else to do. Why not try to do some side quests to get a little more out of your game time? RPGs are probably the most famous for doing this stuff. Take on a side quest in order to get something new for one of your teammates, or a better example, trying to catch a legendary Pokemon. It's all that optional stuff that's not required to beat the game, but it's the stuff that helps you play the game a little longer because you know it's just too good to put down so soon. Or in some cases, helps make the game a little more fun to play while you're still playing it. Hey, every time I play the Ocarina of Time, I can't pass up doing the big Goron Sword Quest because it's just so much fun to destroy the bosses in a few short hits. Overkill for the win! I make a lot of mistakes. I'm human, so it's only natural, and I would take less chances in games if it wasn't for a health system of some kind. It lets me know how much more life I have left in me before my character drops dead. Not all games show you how much more you can take, but I love the ones that do. It helps create that sense of calm or urgency depending on how badly I've been controlling my character. The health system lets me know if I should be more careful with how much I have left, or if I can be stupid and reckless. As we all know, in most games, as long as you have 1 HP left, then you are good to go. So it's nice to know if my character can take one more hit, then turn tail and run like a coward. Video games don't make a lot of sense most of the time, but you know what? Sometimes that's a good thing. Why should I try to question the things that actually work in my favor? Think about it. Why do coins give me air and health in Mario 64? How exactly does the homing attack work in the Sonic games? How does Samus not crush every bone in her body when she goes into the Morph Ball? And how do some characters do a double jump in midair? None of this makes any sense, but why on earth would you argue against it? Just take the abilities your character's been given, be grateful for it, and shut up. Remember that whole I'm human and I make mistakes thing? So you can only imagine how thankful I am for having more chances. Extra lives, checkpoints, continues, it's all good. I could never make it through a game without losing at least 30 lives or so on my first run of the game. Can you imagine if you had to play every game out there with only 1 life, no checkpoints, no continues, and when you lose that life, you'd have to start all over again? I don't need, nor do I want the game to hold my hand and beat the level for me, but having more chances to do it on my own is all I ask. If I have to have you beat the level for me, that's when I really suck. And I'm glad that my determination and stubbornness allows me to tell you to say, get lost every time. Don't you think it's cool that when you hear something about a game that you didn't know before, then try it out to see if it's real? You gotta love secrets and those unlockables that can be found in almost every game, like being able to play as a new character or finding shortcuts. Sadly, secrets rarely exist in today's gaming culture thanks to the internet, with the only real secret left is the Mega Man 9 one. But it's still great to unlock stuff. Usually the two are often the same thing, such as unlockable levels and secret characters, but I felt they needed to be clarified a little more. Okay, I did a bad job on that because remember, I'm human, but they can both share the 5th place spot because they can really make playing games more of a shock and surprise when you've found or unlocked something in the game. Luigi and Brawl? Who knew? Could you imagine playing through a game and everything you started with was all you would ever have? That would make the game feel boring. Imagine playing the first Metroid game where your default equipment was all you would ever have. that puny little pea shooter isn't going to strike fear into anything. Or how about a Mario or Sonic game where you never get to use a power-up for a little diversity in the gameplay? Same thing goes for Kirby. Oh, wait, one more. How about any first-person shooter where that pathetic little pistol is your only weapon? Upgrades, new items, and power-ups help the game become more interesting because you get to do more things later on. They can introduce new obstacles and puzzles to overcome. And the bottom line is, they can really help make the game feel fresh when you get to do something new. Hey, if you want to play Zelda 1 with 3 hearts and the wooden sword, I can understand the thrill of a challenge. But being an unstoppable powerhouse for a while is exciting too. A little reminder about the holiday seasons. It's a time for coming together, and with video games that either means teamwork or a family feud. Multiplayer modes can be so much fun that some games are based on just being that. Offline, online, co-op, versus, it's all great. I always love beating my brothers and friends in local multiplayer mode, and no online mode could ever match that experience. But I also love online versus modes for the convenience of being able to play against anyone, anywhere, at any time. I love it when games have both options because you're getting the best of both worlds. I don't know about you guys, but I get sick of seeing the same games come out every year and they barely change at all. Call of Duty looks and feels the same every year. Granted, I've only played the multiplayer modes in 2 of them, but even Mario has been doing it more recently. Granted, he hasn't been doing it as much, but when I saw 2 games come out in the same year that look similar to each other, that's crossing the line. Innovation is very important here. Be brave and put something new and exciting in your game that we may not have seen before. Make your games feel and play different from each other. Don't just keep using the same game engine. I know it's risky for developers to do this, what with the economy in a mess and all, but I for one appreciate it when a game comes out and tries to change things up. Whether it's for the motion controls the Wii brought us, Mario showing everyone how to make a true 3D platformer, Zelda's lock-on targeting feature, GoldenEye showing us how first-person shooters can work on a console, Ape Escape demonstrating how 2 analog sticks can truly work, Sonic and Knuckles lock-on cartridge, or Star Fox giving us the Rumble Pack. Innovation is what pushes the gaming industry forward. This is just my little theory, just my own little tiny theory, but if all the developers right now just made the games feel exactly as they did and never really changed their game, this industry would be dead in a few years. I think that speaks for itself just how important this is. Most of you have to be thinking, what could possibly top innovation? Don't forget that this is my list and I can put whatever I want at first place, even if it's not that big of a deal. But to me, this is a big deal. I can never play a game like Uncharted, Tales of Symphonia, or even Pokemon without one big thing: a save system. I'm not doing my research on this, but The Legend of Zelda on the NES was either the first game to use a save system, or the most famous one to use it. There's no way on earth you could sit down and play through a game like Ratchet & Clank or Xenoblade Chronicles in one sitting. At least most normal human beings can't. Sure, there's a password system, but that's a piece of garbage! Whenever I can, I save my progress for fear of having to redo certain parts again. You can argue that innovation is more important, and I won't argue against it because I like to think that at one point this was innovation. So the next time you play a game and you go to save your game, be thankful that it's there. And that will conclude this list, and if you have a difference of opinion, I would love to hear what you're thankful for in video games. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Remember that. Happy late Thanksgiving, everyone. Hey guys, I got another decision for you to make. This time it's for a future personal 10 list and another review, but I'm not going to tell you what they are here. You have to check it out on Push Start, and you have to let me know there. Any messages here, I'm not going to count.